Hi guys, this is Crossy of Eclipse Gaming TV, and for those of you that have just watched my channel update, you'll know that this is a bit of a new pilot episode really, as I work on a few settings again and try and get back to bringing you live action at my new flat, new setup, new internet, that kind of thing. So we're going to dive into a game from the SLTV Starseries 9. This is squaring off between Virtus Pro, the Poles, against Titan, who is one of the changes that I've missed out in the time I haven't had internet. Titan is the former Team VeryGames lineup who were dropped in the end by the French organisation after pretty much 5 years where they've been one of the most successful teams across Counter-Strike in Europe, as they were unable to continue to support the team at live events. So it's going to be interesting to see how they are progressing on their own now, and we're going to see this squaring off on Inferno. So I've skipped through ahead of the knife round because, to be honest, ain't nobody got time for that. So we are going to be underway. We have got Titan squaring off on the arguably easier CT side. But Inferno is a little bit weird, to be honest, as are a lot of the maps. They seem to have gone that way in Counter-Strike, where they can play in a variety of different ways. As we see the setup going on straight away. So Existence taking a peek down Banana and going quite aggressive. He could get himself in some trouble here if he doesn't check logs, which he doesn't, as Taz smashes him straight off the bat there. So Scream is going to be seeing a full-on push coming up Banana. Throws a bit of fire down to try and slow him down a bit and backs off onto the site. He's going to throw a flash out to try and help himself out, but Taz pushes through his second frag as the rest of Virtus Pro pile into the site. Bomb plant is going to be underway. And that's coming in from Snacks. We've got MBK creeping his way at Banana. Shocks and Smiths round about the CT spawn area, coming in from the A rotate. So No's got some action straight away. We're on board with MBK. Smiths picks up Chrono. And Snacks with two frags straight away. So that's Smiths and MBK both going down. And pads of biceps. Excellent. I get the feeling if you spend most of your day playing Counter-Strike, you're not going to spend that much time in the gym, but I could be wrong. So first round does go to the terrorist, the Virtus Pro. All that set up straight away by an early pick on Existence, who got a little bit too aggressive down Banana, you could say. If you're going to do that, you've got to check logs. Got to peek it. In the end, he didn't even make an attempt to flick in that direction and walked straight into a gun barrel, which is not the best. Snacks using the skybox to ping a nade in. A fairly slow build-up as No picks up the opening frag on Shocks, so they're going to try the other side this time and barrel into A. MBK is holding inside the apps. We're sitting in a bit of smoke. He's got an outside chance of being able to sneak in and do some damage here as the other players from his team move in from the B site. On board with Smith, he's in a bit of shootout round about the quad area. Taz comes out on top. AK against Pistol, usually going to win out there. Existence a little bit worried about Paz coming from both directions. Players coming from both directions, I should say, as No grabs Scream with the MP7. Good little purchase, that one, the MP7, and very economic purchase, and you can always pick up $600 from every frag that you pick up from it as well. So an interesting choice, but if you're against pistols and you go fast and aggressive, then you've got a good chance of coming out on top and just unleashing a spray of bullets in the direction of your opposition. So no surprise buy coming in from Titan. Not surprised that they're going to go that route really. Want to make sure that they've got full guns so they can lock down this CT side, where you'd expect they should come out on top. Right on board with Snacks at the moment, firing in a couple of shots in case anyone decides to pick the corner, but I think Existence is thinking twice about being aggressive after it failed miserably for him in the first round. Bit of a split, no one committing too much here. Gonna jump over to No, who's managed to walk up into A. MBK up in the balcony area, so he's not going to see any action just yet. No, he decides, as you might be able to see on the radar, that he's going to instead walk through and help work a bit of a pincer movement round about B. Smoke goes in, which causes Existence a little bit of an issue. And let's get on board with No, because he could have the chance to come in behind, and he does. Nearly makes a mess of it, but comes out on top and doesn't lose any hit points. So he's coming in now, pushing into the garden. A chance to grab Stream, which he does. He's a little bit too worried about other players coming in from Banana, who they knew were there. Smoke going down. And it is now down to NBK 1v5. Has he got any magic? No, he hasn't, not at this stage. So it is going to be 3-0 to Virtus Pro. Pick up the opening round and then piggyback through to the next two guns versus pistols, as you'd expect. No surprise buys thrown in from the French side. So we are going to see a full buy here. On board with Smith really quickly. See if he's going to make a little AWP pick for us here. Jumps across the sides, he's not going to go for it, but he might have a nibble into second mid. Looks like he doesn't fancy that. You'd have to be a brave man to go for a pick there, because he's clearly facing a bit of attention. Smokes, flashes, nades going in that sort of direction. Smith does pick up a pick on Snacks, but Bialy firing straight back, taking down MBK. So trading frag for frag, these two guys, or these two teams I should say. 4v4, minute left on the clock. Bomb down in the mid area. But Virtus Pro once again managed to take control of this mid area. They've got players up and pushed into it. Gives them a little bit of room to work if they want it, and it looks like they're going to take that opportunity. Three of them working towards it. We've got Scream holding on the site. And Shocks in the nice spot in Graveyard. And there's not that many places you can sit, so Graveyard will get checked eventually, but you might get a split second there. Shocks gets one, and he is picked up nicely by Bialy, though, who pushes through. But that Graveyard spot is a nice little place to go to. You can get a split second to pick off a couple of headshots, potentially. Existence team captain and Smiths with the AWP against 2.5 really. Bialy is 1 hit away from any kind of weapon really, from being taken down. Looks like they're both going to drop out and save this AWP. A wise choice in the situation, I would say. I think if they managed to get an early pick and get it to 2 versus 2, they might have been tempted to go for that, but the opportunity wasn't there. And we are going to see Virtus Pro take a 4-0 lead here. Very nice position to be in on T side. Quick look at the scores here, and Existence, Scream and NBK all failing to pick up a frag so far. Are we going to see a fast banana push? Well, I'll get on board with Taz and see what happens, but they've already slowed it down as that nade comes in and takes a little bit off his armour. Smith gets the opening pick once again with the AWP, so he's doing well with that, but needs to do more as Taz picks up 2 frags over at the banana area. The fire does manage to get him in the end, Scream throwing down that fire. But maybe a little too late with that. I've seen him throw in a Molotov, but or incendiary, as it's on the side if you want to be picky about it. But it hasn't really slowed them down enough. Both times it's happened, there's either been picks or action on the site. We've watched MBK do a nice bit of jumping around there in the pit area, manages to pick up a frag, and as kills are traded, it does work out as a 2v1 situation in favour of Titan. As Titan themselves are a Singapore-based organisation, have picked up one of the most successful Counter-Strike Go teams in Europe in recent years, as NBK picks up that final frags on Pazza. Probably not pronouncing that right. Apologies for that, my Polish is a little bit rusty. As Titan pick up their opening round, so they'll be pleased to get that one on the board. I won't have been panicking as such, I don't think. You expect if you lose pistol, which is quite likely the way that the starter pistols are balanced, for example, and then you expect to lose the next 2 unless you maybe try a surprise buy, but that's more of a gamble than you'd expect. So, but then being 3-0 down, you would think, okay, this is expected, but they would like to have won that 4th round, which they didn't. They'd be glad to get this one on the board sooner rather than later, because you can notice you get 6, 7, 8 rounds down and it can run away from you really, really quickly, and you can call that map over sometimes. So I needed to get that one for pride. So we're now 50 seconds left on the clock, and things developing fairly slowly here. Snack's going to try and make some moves into apps, but I expect the side's against it. Barley goes to grab the bomb from mid with No to back him up, and Taz there as well. Looks like A is going to be the place to go. Snacks gets a chance to nail MBK, but MBK comes out on top. Very nice job there, and he's only taken down by about a third of his hit points as well. So managed to dodge the headshot there. Timed it well, didn't get too aggressive too early. Taz cracking in with an entry pick. He's done very well with those so far, and he's got a chance for a second. Grabbing shocks on the site, very nicely done. So 4v3, but MBK not in a bad position in apps, jumps into the pit, and that turned out to be costly because No is there to mop him up. Leaving Scream and Existence last 2 standing, and they are already deciding to make a move to save this one in the 4 versus 2. So money reset for Titan. Managed to get themselves in a great position, winning the round before this one, and then get cut straight back down. Not going to help their finances too much, and it is vitally important that they save these 2 weapons if they can. To show you the scores while we're here, Taz leading the way, made a couple of very vital entry picks as Scream manages to grab No. Nice work there, that's one less gun that they've got, but as you see, with 8k on the board, he's not too worried. No doing alright. In fact, all of Virtus Pro doing alright, nothing particularly special, no one jumping out massively other than Taz's early performance. You see all of the Titan players except Team Captain Existence have managed to get themselves on the board now. But finances are not good, so we're going to see them go for another save round here. The 2 guns that were saved have stacked up on the B side. That's Scream and Existence. They're the 2 B players anyway, so nothing too tricky about the way that they're playing this. Might have seen them switch up and put a gun per site, but it doesn't matter. Existence gets himself on the board with nice rifle control, throwing off a couple of bursts, taking down the Virtus Pro player. But all looks quiet after that opening pick. They've got No at the bottom at the logs, and again, you could accuse Titan of not checking that quite as well as you would have liked. Scream does manage to pick up the frag there, trading as Shocks goes down. Another one at the bottom, and it's Taz again. What a surprise, coming out and taking down Scream. So Virtus Pro are going to move on that as quickly as they can. Let's lead with Taz. He seems to be coming out on top. Whenever a pick has been needed, will he do it again with Existence barreling into the site? Looks like he won't get his chance straight away. Existence has slowed it down, waiting for his teammates. Very wise as Smith evens things up. I say that, evens it up. That takes advantage to Titan 3 versus 2. Barley manages to get MBK in the meantime. Smith picks up the early. Last man standing is Taz at the back of the site. 2 players bearing down on him, and he is not able to pick up a frag there. Diffuse comes in. Existence left with a job of picking that one up. Gets himself on the board during that round in the meantime, and it is 5-2 in favour of Virtus Pro on the T side. So the Poles on top against the French so far. There's not many times you get to say that in sporting environments, but it is happening right now. Playing this out at the SLTV Starseries 9 event. Now going down, and we've got 3 players on the B site. Slowly working down Banana. And Smith does come out on top, facing Pazza. I wasn't on board with it, but I get the feeling that shot was a little bit close for comfort. You don't really want to be in that tight when you've got an AWP in your hand. Very few players have the ability to work just as well with the AWP at close range as they do from distance, but there are one or two. And I have the ultimate respect for those players. Smith's again sticking quite close, halfway down Banana, and he gets no there as well. So that's worked out well. MBK positioning himself on the balcony. Saw Snacks as he tried to peek out, sort of shoulder pick the corner really, but it didn't work out too well. Screen's got two, and it's aim AK headshot practice there. That's all he could see, and that's all he was going for. Existence comes in to mop up though, so it doesn't let Scream have all the fun. Nice controlled round from Titan though. Push 3 onto B. It looked like Virtus Pro were leaning towards pushing the A site, so it could have ended badly, but nice work from Smith. Got aggressive with the AWP, took a couple of frags really quickly down the Banana area, and then from that point MBK and Scream were able to mop up. MBK takes down Taz, the big entry fragger, with a nade. And we see Taz has taken down to about half HP. We've got a push behind. No drops the bomb and goes after Shocks and comes out on top there, so good work. Could have ended pretty badly for Virtus Pro, but they come out of that on top. And instead that's opened things up now. 2 players on each site. No real commitment from Virtus Pro. So there'll be no signs of a rotate as yet. They'll be looking for some kind of sign. Will that smoke prompt any rotates? No, it won't. Titan are a little too professional for that. You need to do more than throw a smoke. MBK pushes out though, behind. It's got Bialy at the bottom, so this could end badly for MBK if he gets this wrong. He's got no pushing in behind him. No spotted him, so MBK maybe being a little bit too cautious, you could say, but he had to do that. He knew there was a player. Oh, what a shot that is from No. Manages to grab Smith, peeks the corner. I don't think he was expecting to see a Titan player waiting there, but he was, and he found the face with a split-second reaction, and No comes in from behind. So we were riding with No for all of that, pretty much. Managed to skip in, grab MBK from behind, mop up with a kill from behind, and a fantastic little shot from the arch side. So really good stuff there, and that was complete fluke, honestly. Being on board with the right player is something that I've always struggled with a little bit over the years. Managed to get it right that time. As No spams through, and pretty much trying to make sure that you don't get an AWP or even an AK push into that balcony area. Because if they do that and catch you by surprise, they can end up taking 1 or 2 players out in second mid and have plenty of chance to sort of nip back into the apartments and escape safely. So that can work out really well for you. You're not going to get away with it very much against players of this sort of calibre, I wouldn't expect, but it's more one that you'd see against mixed teams and lower level teams, but something you have to be very, very wary of as a team, and do your best to make sure that players can't go in and have free reign of that balcony window. No pushing, going aggressive through the smoke, and it looks like it comes out on top, a bit scrappy, a lot of spray. He's got a chance at another. Taz does mop up Screen, but not before he takes down No, so frag's being traded, but numbers do favour Virtus Pro, who are 6-3 so far on the arguably tougher Teak side. Bomb gets planted, Chocks comes in, and despite riding out a headshot, he does take down Snack. So 3 versus 3, bomb planted. Virtus Pro playing this quite passively, bedded in at the back of the site. Bialy and Pazza, as we can see here, sitting pretty much on top of each other. MBK coming in to clear, waiting for teammates to help out. Pazza gets 1 and make that 2 as MBK goes down as well. Smith manages to get 1, make that 2, clocking up a couple of frags in bunches. Will Bialy push and try and take out the AWP? No, he doesn't. Smith gets away unscathed with 2 frags and a rifle. And he is leading the way by 50% compared to MBK and Scream on 5 frags apiece. And No has overtaken the Virtus Pro scoreboard from Taz, who was quieted down just a little bit from his early dominance on the entry picks. We've got a bit of a scrub buy coming in from Titan as well. Couple of swag 7s in. Smith's catching a nade, taken down to just over half HP now. He's taken down to 20, catches the second one. And as you can see, he's only in there just making sure that no one gets into the balcony. And he's already taken down to 20 HP, which is far from ideal. Got Mag 7 support, which is going to be needed, and Shocks comes out on top. And despite Smith being worried about that balcony region, he is caught by Snacks, who pushes in while his back was turned. Shocks did pick up a second frag in the meantime before Snacks manages to grab him as well. So 3 versus 3, bomb planted, Resistance trying to move in, and No picks up the frag there. Waiting for him to step out of the library, and he very quickly obliged. 3-man on the board for Snacks now. Scream, last man standing, and nice shot there with the Mag 7, managing to rip off Paz's face, but No finishes the job off, and it is 8-3. 2 Virtus Pro on the T side. Not looking good for the French team now. They're already on a scrub by last time, so they are going to be on the eco. Will they try something a little out of the ordinary to mix things up? It looks like they are. 4-man stack onto A. Existence playing B on his own. Scream with the Deagle trying to make some shots down Banana. Sorry, not down Banana. That is mid. My mistake. Looks like this might work out pretty well as long as they don't commit too much. Titan, Scream, and Science is going to nip away and back up at Banana where there is now action. That's turned around very quickly as it looked like a mid-push was upcoming, but that has not happened. So it is going to be action at the B site. Taz, again, entry fragging his nuts off as Existence goes down. Scream trying to work through the smoke with his Deagle, but no such luck. It's going to be a tough ask trying to see through that lot as bomb gets planted. Smith goes down to Byerly. Riley gets his second, grabbing Shocks. Rotate coming in. And Smoke's all over the shop here as Taz mops up, picking up the final frag, making it 9-3. And Smokes makes such a difference on Counter-Strike, especially since Global Offensive, where it's probably the most influential. Basically, if you're in a position where you're pushing through smokes, then you are very much up against it for the most part. So not ideal. So if you throw smokes down like that, you're unlikely to have a player decide they're going to push through and be aggressive. They either have to wait for the smoke to disappear or work around, find another way. It's pretty much cutting off a potential route into a site, creating choke points that wouldn't have been there before as frags get traded. And it's a pretty aggressive play up onto me. Shocks does try and bring things even. And No, he's down to 6 HP for Virtus Pro as the bomb gets planted on the B site. All a little bit too easy, you could say. Taz and Shock's going to be dueling around about the garden area. Taz comes out on top. He is taken down to 20 HP though and decides to get out, dodge and retreat to the back. Pazza picks up MBK. Smith with a nade grabbing No, who is already down to 6 HP. Smith going to save this or not a lot else he can really do. And looking at the finances, well, they need to get everything they can. Shocks can probably scrabble a buy, the rest of them not so much. So we'll probably see them eco here. We go to 10-3. So eco for last, try and get to 10-5 is probably the plan unless they decide to commit. And looking at the money, they will probably decide to commit. Actually, Shocks already does. Stock buys for the rest. No helmets, couple of Famaces out. Smith's going to work onto Banana, see if he can get a pick or two here. He's been a lot more successful at Banana than he has been trying to work Bedroom. Gets quite aggressive with it. Again, coming down to about halfway. Gets smoked off, no joy there. As Virtus Pro look like they're going to focus their attention on A if possible, but we have seen them go for this and turn it around. Existence pushing down to logs in the meantime. Smith's still there, and we do have some action coming in. No fires in the flash. Up onto the Squad side pushes through, and pushing through smoke shows how costly that was as Shocks comes out on top. Shocks grabs a second and a third in the spray down as Snacks and Pazza fall as well. So 4v2. Numbers favour Titan, and it's not often we've said that, and they don't anymore. Oh, maybe they do. So it all happened there in very, very quick succession. Titan had the numerical advantage. It came back to even, and then straight away again Titan opened it back up, and that is 10-4. Final round now. They're going to be looking to pick this one up if they can. Money absolutely fine for Virtus Pro. They haven't had to be too concerned about ecoing very much at all in this first half. Just as a reminder, you are on board with Crossy of Eclipse Gaming TV. This is a bit of a pilot slash tester. Been about 6 weeks since I've done any kind of commentary, so it's a little bit of a trial run, see how things go. As Pazza picks up the AWP and comes out on top, grabbing existence. Will he decide to go in an AWP battle with Smith? He does, and Smith comes out on top. The one standout player really for Titan as Smith picks up a second and Shocks. In the meantime, at the other side, grabs a couple. Bialing in second mid, and Taz from Apps MBK mopping up. So Smith's leading the way for 14 frags. Shocks not that far behind. The rest of Titan a little bit concerning on the easier CT side. Virtus Pro though, no complaints from their performances. No one Taz particular stands out during the early part of the first half. And we are waiting about 30 seconds for the second half to get underway. All going to come down to this pistol round, then Titan need to pick that one up. If they do, they expect to get the next two, so that would only be 10-8, the advantage in favour of Virtus Pro. But the Poles do find themselves on the easier side, so they've got a very good chance of managing to hold this one out. I think the key to their success was just their ability to make the entry frags, get themselves into the site, pick up the opening kill, and then from that point you can throw your smokes down, spread out, and it gives you a little more of an opportunity to, to work and to lock down the positions, hold the angles. As I mentioned, if you throw a couple of well-placed smokes down, it's almost like creating choke points in the areas where there isn't smoke, because the opposition players are going to favour moving in that direction if they can, and of course you're not going to get picked from long range if there's a smoke down unless they are very, very lucky or they've downloaded cheats. Of course, nothing that any of these players will have done. They're all very experienced and heavily proven in the LAN offline format. Fairly standard setup that we're seeing here from the CTs. Snacks coming through onto the rotate here, but before that he was roundabout in the B site. And no drops back though, he's got plenty of attention coming in his direction. So rotate back coming in from Snacks. Titan knows managed to do enough to slow things down. There are two players over at the art side on board with Bialy at the moment, sitting in the gay spot. Could have some action, and there's some mega crossfire on the go here. Pazzy doesn't need the help, but Taz steps in and Bialy steps in. So little pit, gay spot, and arch crossfire comes out well and truly on top, leaving Shock's last man standing. And he has managed to work onto the A side, but even so, and even with block in hand, this is a tough ask. Taking Snacks down to 10 HP. Flash does slow them down a little bit, and they decide to come on mass now, or try to. Play coming in behind, so Shocks had nowhere to go really as Virtus Pro win the first round. So, mentioned earlier that Titan needed to win that one, try and get to 10-8. Well, they are not going to have that opportunity. Instead, it's probably going to go to 13-5 if all goes to plan. Not seeing any crazy surprise buys coming in from Titan. If they're going to do anything funky like that, then the chance will probably have to be next round, because not a lot of cash to go around. Virtus Pro bought strongly. They've got pharmacies, one M4 and an MP7. So maybe a little more expensive a buy than you might be expected to see. Whether the gamble will pay off for them or not, we don't know. They seem to work in pairs around this A site. Instead of having 2-3 players around about the arch side, they've now gone into the pit where Taz and Bialy are sitting there waiting for action. Scream up in the Alps is most likely to have FaceTime with those two, apart from Shocks, who is thinking about a peek. Hasn't gone for it yet. Paz are going to have some attention of his own. And he does drop back, got flash in hand, pings it off. Riley gets two Shocks and Smiths going down, and Paz does a nice job of MBK pushing in. Existence in the pit does pick up one. But the damage was well and truly done by Bialy, picking up 2 players very quickly from the quad and app side, and it is 12-5. Expect to see one more round going in the favour of Virtus Pro. If all goes as expected, we've got one upgrade. Bialy choosing to go for an M4 this time. Finances will be looking healthy after picking up a couple of frags. And he pushes his way to the top of the frag charts. No with the MP7 opens up, Snacks, and No again with a frag apiece. And Snacks finding the face of Scream as he flops to the floor. So we could have a flawless victory potentially. Shocks last man standing. What's he got in the tank? Not a whole lot as Taz mops up. So 13-5 then, as expected. Titan are at last chance saloon here. If they don't pick up this buy round, then they are probably going to be a little bit cash strapped for picking up the final round. Patient build up on display here. Plenty of bullets being fired, but not a whole lot of actual action or damage being done at this stage. Shocks does pick up the opening frag, but Pazza and Taz fire straight back. More action in mid, and Existence manages to pick up the frag on Pazza there. So 3 versus 3. Taz already down to very low HP. Molotov goes into the pit, give them something to think about if there's any players sitting in there. It turns out Taz is able to sit in by the truck as Snacks picks up the double of Smiths and MBK. Existence firing straight back, but it is a 2 versus 1 in favour of Virtus Pro. That flash pushes Existence back. Already got 2 frags to his name. Can he get the 4-man and lead a captain's example here as they try and get back into this game? He's picked up the 3rd. He continues to spray. Is No in that smoke? Yes, he is. And No is able to come out on top, taking it to 14-5. Apologies for that. I'm to be a bit social, catch up on the people that haven't seen me for 6 weeks and all that stuff. No internet has been an absolute bitch, but glad to be back on the way, and really good action here from Virtus Pro. Is a great little introduction. So what a Titan got up their sleeve then. They're working fairly similar setups to what they've been doing so far and what hasn't been working for them. 4 players around about the second mid area. MBK got 2 players and nice work, good control with the P250. Manages to get 1, but he's taken down, and really the terrorists want as many players up as they can as Bialy takes down 1. Leaving a 4 versus 2 then. Tries to grab Smiths. Leaving Shocks last man standing once again. And pushing it into the arch area. Grabs Bialy. Got little pit action as Pazza goes down. So very good game sense, knowing that there might have been a player around that corner. Maybe he heard something. 2v1, got the bomb in hand. This is still doable, although fairly unlikely. He's taken down the 12 HP by Taz from CT spawn. No coming in from the other direction from Banana was able to mop up, and it is 15-5 in favour of Virtus Pro now. Full buy from Titan, no other choice. MBK having to go for Galil, but aside from that, his existence on eco here. Yeah, he is. Had to go P250. So again, build up is slow, patient. Smiths with the AWP looking for a chance to make a pick. Virtus Pro far too passive though. Seems a lot of teams are going for the more passive A setup, dropping back to little pit area, to big pit area, and playing from there, possibly in the arch, peeking into the angle. It's a lot rarer to see players up round about the J spot area and up at quad Crossfire now. I'm not sure whether I like that or not. I think for the most part I do. It seems to make sense, and when played well it is extremely successful. There's no chance he gets flashed, blinded, anyone getting isolated by smokes. As we see frags being traded, Virtus Pro have the advantage, 4 versus 2. No picks up a couple of frags. MBK does manage to get no in the meantime. Scream though tries to get through into balcony through the smoke. Not got much chance of that. MBK trying to keep it alive. 2 frags already. Got Smith's AWP in hand. Steps out into snacks his AWP scope, and that is game over. So very, very strong performance coming in there from Virtus Pro. And we see the former VeryGames team, now known as Titan, well and truly demolished on Inferno. Very good action there. Hopefully this sounds alright with the way I've got my sound set up. I guess there's only one way to find out. But this has been Crossy of Eclipse Gaming TV. Thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully we'll have some more action on the channel very, very soon. Thank you very much.